favorite scary movie.
As I'm sure you know, in 1999, The Blair Witch Project was released and it launched the found footage genre into the stratosphere. It put it mainstream. While there had been found footage movies before this, including Legend of Boggy Creek and Cannibal Holocaust, Blair Witch Project was the one that announced found footage's presence to the world. However, there was another film about 6 months prior to the release of the Blair Witch Project that put found footage on the map for a little bit, a blip on the radar, only to disappear once it was out of theaters, is a movie called The Last Broadcast. It tells the story of a duo of college-age dudes who host a public access television show called Fact or Fiction.
Have you called a plumber to your home lately? How superstitious are you?
No, not that one. This is very much a public access show. Not a ton of people watch it. However, there is a bit of an audience because of how amateur and goofball it all is. However, ratings are sagging, and so the two decide we're going to do a live stream. Now, in 1998, live streams just really weren't that much of a thing, but they decide to be pioneers about it, and they decide to do it live. It's going into the Jersey Pine Barrens to find the elusive Jersey Devil. However, three people entered and one person left. One person covered in the other people's blood, with seemingly foul motives at play. The Blair Witch Project pretty much announced found footage to the world, and while it's nowhere near as good as Blair Witch, The Last Broadcast is still effective for quite a bit of its runtime. For the first three-quarters of the movie, you get the sense that nothing is right about any of this. There's an eeriness to this movie that you just can't shake. It can't be taught, it can't be shown. There's something clinical about it. It feels, like I said, it feels eerie. I watched a review of this movie from Ryan Hollinger, a YouTuber I follow, where he described it as kind of similar to the Poughkeepsie tapes in that the narration over the footage feels very matter-of-fact and to the point, similar to what happened in the Poughkeepsie tapes. Now that I've seen both, I can confirm that Ryan Hollinger was absolutely correct. This movie's very matter-of-fact, it's very straightforward, it doesn't really entertain any possibilities. However, it does entertain the possibility that the full story is not really being told. As someone who took several TV broadcast classes at my local community college, seeing the fact or fiction show being done, it warmed my heart in its amateurness. And not gonna lie, about 35 minutes into the movie, I was saying to myself, I think this movie subtly predicted Twitch. I mean, it's a live stream in 1998 with someone essentially being a chat mod. Like, they kind of predicted Twitch, like, right then and there. And the movie captures it's timeless, but it's also dated, and it kind of creates a weird paradox of sorts. There's a big twist reveal at the end, which I will not spoil here, but to make a long story short, the twist didn't really hit for me. It kind of spins into this commentary on media consumption, which doesn't really feel 1998, it feels 2024. That's why it didn't hit for me personally, but it could hit for others. And so, in terms of the context of what the movie was going for, I think it may have been a little bit ahead of its time. But to put the period at the end of the sentence, The Last Broadcast is far from perfect, but it's a movie that I think is kind of underrated and also ahead of its time, like I said, while also being dated. The movie feels very much like a with it, but also really not with it, while all that happening at the same time.